I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
That's Booby.
And Culpy and Chip. Look, Culpy. He's
Culpy's back. So
to
you got a
life
second. You got a second win.
Yeah, he did. Yep.
Whoa. This is a song that's been requested for a year.
Yeah.
There was a guy who was requesting it over and over again, and we never got to him. And then I saw somebody request it a couple days ago, so I'm like, oh, we should do that.
It's time.
So this is Wintersun, Loneliness, from the album The Forest Seasons. This should be interesting. For timely topical political commentary, you can hit us up at Middle America with Vin and Sori. We've actually got another one of those debates online. It's about Christians and killing, Christians and gun control, whatever.
Yeah, but the interesting part about it is it's two Christians debating each other.
Right.
That's what's interesting. Two Christians with opposing views, using the same Bible to justify their mindset. So you watch, dear listener, and see which side you fall upon. Also,
and remember, salt can kill.
Yes. Not sure how. Let us know in the comment section. Anyway, if you are so inclined, we have a couple of villagers that are having a little trouble right now. If you look in the description of this video, you'll be able to find the info that you need to help those people out, even in, in the smallest amount that you can. If you can't, send them good vibes, prayers, whatever it is that you do, that would be awesome. Also, we're gonna kind of do this every month, so it's going to be different people all the time that are reaching out to us to say, hey, I could use a little bit of extra help. So we've got next month already figured out and stuff. So
yeah, we can only do, 2 a month. But the cool thing is, and for you patrons, if you take your monthly pledge and channel it to the cause, the given cause for a given month, you still get to maintain your
points for your alliances.
Your points and totals and all that and the rest of it. So, there we are.
Okay, so Wintersun. Is everybody ready?
This is Loneliness, Wintersun. Let's go.
Go.
You sure this isn't the official video?
No, it wasn't. It didn't have that little thing on it. This makes me feel sad.
snow, far from home. Follow the coast, wander the frozen sky, with growing sorrow, with weary eyes. Swallow the ghost of the lost
You didn't like
I
it?
did. It was just really sad.
Well, I guess that whole record is about the seasons. Look, awaken from the dark slumber, spring, a forest that weeps, summer, eternal darkness, autumn, and then loneliness is winter. Which is interesting because if you're looking at it chiastically, the summer should be at top. But it's interesting because people usually like spring as their favorite season, so it makes sense. But geez, what an epic idea! For anyone, in Maine we supposedly have 4 seasons, but it's mostly autumn and what do you call it? Winter. So it's a different type of thing. What's going on with you, Missy?
Oh, my stomach is so upset. All I keep thinking about is that family that lost their baby. And like that feeling, and this song like fit with that theme.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a terrible situation.
Yeah. Everything was going good throughout the whole pregnancy, and then she was on the way to the hospital, and I think started having the baby on the way to the hospital, and stuff wasn't going good, but by the time that they got there and it was too late, the baby didn't make it. Oh, and it was so heartbreaking. It's like,
Yeah, and then here's loneliness, Wintersun.
And I just I can't stop thinking about the mom and how the mom is feeling. I'm just praying a ton for the mom. Usually, when there's some event, you are you feel the weight. And I don't usually, but this one is really affecting me. And I don't know, I keep thinking and praying for her and stuff because I feel during the song, I sent her a message that said, it's not your fault. Because I bet as a mom, you'd feel, why didn't I push faster? Why didn't I do this? Why didn't I do all the questions and stuff? It's just heartbreaking. So.
Yeah, I mean, thinking about being there with you, when we were having Orion.
Yeah.
And, as a man, you're always you want to protect, and you want to, anything that's hurting, your wife, you want to be able to, and there's really nothing you can do but just sit there and be the support.
Yeah.
And I remember it was a very, very emotional moment. You see the baby's crowning and it's oh, we're about to meet him. In her case, it was her, we're going to meet her. And then, you're really happy. And then they tried, the doctors was 40 minutes after to get her heartbeat going. That's just brutal.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Yeah. Just.
And then we had this gem.
I know, it was just oh my gosh. And so I just kept seeing the baby and seeing the mom's face and seeing, it's just, and there's a certain type of loneliness that goes with that can't be understood by someone who hasn't felt it. And,
I mean, losing a baby.
Yeah, and a mom, specifically a mom's feelings of it. And, obviously I wasn't as far along, obviously, as she was, so I can only imagine the pain that I felt multiplying that by, oh God, it's just so much. It's, oh, Lord, help her.
Yeah, and then once I saw the light in your eyes, but nothing will be any longer the way I remember. Yeah, there's some things in life where you're just changed forever, and it's you're just not going to be the same. And I think acknowledging that is important. Because go ahead, I'm sorry.
The ending too, when it said washed away by the morning sun, hearing the howling call from the other side. The weight of the world quietly crushed the dying light. The feelings of when there's something, when the sun rises after a bad event, it feels like stuff's continuing to move, you know what I mean? It's not, the baby's not coming back, the person's not coming back. Each time that the sun rises, it's more, I think for some reason, I don't know if it's because I'm a Christian or what, but I always feel like when someone dies, like, well, maybe they're gonna come back, even though that's irrational. You know what I mean? Like, yes, resurrection is gonna happen, but that's not now.
Yeah.
So, but I always feel like that. I mean, anytime we watch a movie and the character dies, I'm always like, well, they're probably coming back. I always feel like they're always coming back.
I only did that with Game of Thrones because I couldn't accept that.
Yeah, that
What's her
Queen
face
was dead.
went out like just the way that she went out. I couldn't accept it. But
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying.
So, you know, like, just the, wow, oh my gosh. And like, after you have a baby, like, your body is like wrecked for a while.
Yeah.
But you're like, you deal with the wreckedness of your body because you have that child and you're like, this is the fruit of my labor. And it's just, it's a heavy thing. I'm making this review completely heavy.
Well, I mean, I think the song is for that type of thing. I mean, he's not singing about peaches and cream here.
Yeah.
So, I
But the
mean,
way that he sung it was so deep, and musically what they did with it, it was like, it was beautiful and it was smooth, but then there was like the harder stuff in it that kind of like is the pain of the thing. You know, even if it's not that situation, but it's loneliness itself is a very, very deep, hard feeling, you know, especially when, you know, you feel unloved and you feel lonely, or you feel like nobody cares, or, you know, you feel like what does it matter if I'm here tomorrow, or, you know what I mean, like all those feelings, like they're so real at certain points, even though they're untrue, because everyone is loved, maybe not by the people around you. I don't know what the situation is, but like that's, you know, part of our theology is God made everyone and he loves all of us. So,
yeah.
you know, and obviously, like we've said it before, you're all loved by us because you're made by our God, and so we love you. We love you too. So, but like I think that there's times where you can believe the lie that you're completely unloved and that nobody would care if you died, which is not true. But wow, that they did an excellent job at this song.
Well, Jonathan Edwards, one of the things I appreciated about his writings was that he was able to, he believed that God was speaking in everything. So, you know, he's famous for going out into the woods and crying over a flower because he would see the beauty of the gospel in a flower. And I just think the winter season carries with it so many paradoxes.
Yes.
Like he was talking about the burning coldness of the falling snow, burning coldness, and it's like,
Yep.
that's literally true. I just remember that time I had.
That's what I was thinking.
It was really, really cold outside, but I had to do my run, and I did my run, and frostbit. I got terrible frostbite, and I don't know. It was about 2 months later until I finally was able to get full feeling back into my fingers.
Yeah, I bet.
I was doubting whether or not I was going to be able to, because you were like, yeah, that happened to my dad, and he doesn't have feeling in his hand. And I was like, oh, great.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you for
I
the
shouldn't have
encouragement.
told you.
Thank you for the encouragement. So, yeah, that... But it's crazy because, you know, here in Maine, you know, you get long winters. And obviously, like, it's a real crazy thing because then you have, you know, what they call mud season or slush season, where, because what happens is the streets, one of the things that they do to get traction back on the road is they sand the road, like they inundate the road with a bunch of sand and
Mixed with salt.
because salt kills, to melt the snow and give your car traction. But what happens over time is when it's transitioning away from winter into spring, it's just this really nasty, sludgy
it's such a
snow, and the dirt is kind of highlighted because it's juxtaposed with it's just disgusting. But, you know, prior to the city coming in and you know, doing that with the road, it's just absolutely beautiful.
Oh,
like you're in this.
It is.
It's literally a winter wonderland.
Yeah, because
it's
we have,
unbelievable.
you know, we have evergreens here, so some of them, they're always green. So you have that tree like that. Then you have the other ones that all the leaves have fallen off, and the branches are just going everywhere. But the snow falls, and especially when it's thick snow, it falls and it just creates a layer over all the trees.
Yeah.
And like it just does become, and especially if you're out when there's a snowstorm, so you have the street light that's just kind of like making this warm glow with all this snow falling in it, and then you just look around and everything is covered in this beautiful white, and the trees are covered, and it does feel like a winter wonderland. But
and there's a certain like strange silence.
There is, yes,
because the cars aren't on the road.
I think it's not just that, but I think the actual snowflakes in the air prevent sound waves from traveling so far. So I think it silences also like that. So yes, there's less people out, but there's also
you just
has this.
You generally don't see a lot of cars on the road, especially like if it's a heavy snowstorm. You won't see cars on the road. So it's just like you kind of go back in time a little bit to before all that stuff. You know, and you don't get to really enjoy them a lot, and especially if you're like a native person to places like this, you don't really see the beauty in it. I think some Mainers are kind of like,
I do. I see it
jaded.
Every time. I'm not jaded. I love it.
A lot of Mainers are jaded to the concept, because once they hear a bunch of snow, they don't go yay. They go they're not gonna be able to go to work, and they're gonna have to keep their kids. And
now you get a shovel. Now if you park on the side of the road, they're gonna come and they're gonna tow your vehicle if you don't have the right spot. It just makes a bunch of problems.
Yeah.
Remember that time that we sat on the couch? We moved the couch toward the window and opened up the shades and just sat and watched the snow fall.
Yeah. That was fun.
I love that.
That was a pretty cool moment.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, the winter carries with it a ton of lessons. Mm-hmm. You know, that if you allow yourself to listen to, you can hear them. But just lyrically, it's pretty crazy. You know, the weight of the world quietly crushed by the dying light, washed away by the frozen stars. I mean, people are just...
I know.
Absolutely gifted like crazy. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where you have to kind of, you know, hear what. You know, I don't care what you believe or say you believe or don't believe, but like, definitely nature is saying something, and if you study it, there is a lot of paradox. And I live in the paradox. You know what I mean? And so that's like my belief system. My philosophy is that all of truth is found in the middle of paradox somewhere. And so nature carries with it so many paradoxes, and winter carries with it so many paradoxes. It's pretty crazy, you know. But and the whole record, you know, like I said, it has all the seasons in it, but winter itself is... Linkin Park has a song, I only listened to it once, called My December. And, you know, it was kind of a minor key type song. But, like, we all get it. Like, winter carries with it. And, you know, it's weird because I also get seasonal depression. And so, like, that's the other thing. It's like, in order to get to the beauty of that type of snowfall, you have to go through the depressing aspect of the fact that you're in winter. And it's, a lot of times, it sucks. It's not a fun experience.
Yeah.
So... there's just a whole bunch of paradoxes about winter that I feel like these guys jumped on pretty well. What do you give the song?
I am going to give it a 10. It's an 11, actually. I literally don't think they could have done anything to make this song any better. It was just magnificent. I thought a real piece of art. Yeah, I mean, I agree. It's definitely a 10 for me. I thought this is probably the closest a song has come to matching its title. You know what I mean? So, it just the song sounded like winter. Yes, it just...
Which I know is a category error, but all the artists know what I'm talking about. The song just sounded like winter.
I agree.
And that's how it felt. So that's where I'm at with it.
Sorry, this is a sad one, guys, but I think you knew it by clicking on this title that it was going to go that way.
Oh yeah, and shout out to all the moms who've ever had to go through that, and the men and the women who've supported them and stuck by them. You guys are heroes, that's for sure. VIN out.
Sorry out.
Gone.